He thought it was just a blind date, until she said, "You don't remember me, do you?" The restaurant buzzed softly with the sounds of clinking glasses and low conversation. A warm golden glow from the overhead lamps painted everything in a gentle light. Romantic, calm, inviting. Daniel checked his watch for the third time. He wasn't nervous exactly, just curious. His best friend had insisted he go on this blind date. "You've been single too long, man," he'd said. "It's time to open your heart again." Daniel wasn't sure he even remembered how to. His last relationship had ended 3 years ago after his fiancée walked away, leaving him hollow and cautious. Then the door opened. A woman walked in, graceful yet unsure, scanning the tables until her eyes landed on him. She smiled, a soft, almost nostalgic smile that made Daniel's chest tighten for reasons he couldn't explain. She was beautiful, yes, but there was something else, something familiar he couldn't place. "Hi," she said when she reached the table. "Emily." Daniel stood to greet her, his usual politeness kicking in. "Emily." "I'm Daniel." They shook hands, and he couldn't help noticing how her fingers trembled slightly, as if she were holding back a flood of emotion. The evening began like any ordinary date. They talked about work. Daniel was an architect, Emily a social worker. They exchanged stories about their favorite movies, laughed awkwardly about how strange blind dates could be. But every now and then, Daniel caught Emily watching him with an expression that wasn't just interest. It was recognition. Halfway through dinner, during a pause in conversation, she set down her fork and said softly, "You don't remember me, do you?" Daniel blinked. "What do you mean?" Her smile faltered, replaced by a quiet sadness. "I guess you wouldn't. It's been a long time." She took a slow breath. "We met 10 years ago at the hospital." Daniel frowned, searching his memory. "The hospital?" She nodded. "You were 17. You were in the emergency ward after the accident. Your car was hit by a drunk driver. You were unconscious for days. I was there too, visiting my little brother. He was in the same ward." Her voice trembled. "You were in pain, and every night, your mom would sit beside your bed and cry. She never left your side. And when she finally stepped out for a break, you woke up once panicked and scared. The nurses weren't there, and I remember holding your hand and telling you everything would be okay. You squeezed my hand so tightly, like you were holding on to life itself." Daniel's breath caught in his throat. Suddenly, it all came rushing back. The faint memory of waking up in a fog, his chest burning, the sound of a soft voice whispering comfort. "You, that was you," he whispered. Emily nodded. "Yes, I was just a girl then, sitting next to my brother's bed. I never forgot you. After my brother passed, I used to think about you sometimes, wondering if you made it. When I saw your name on that dating profile, I couldn't believe it was you." The air between them grew still. Daniel's heart pounded as a swirl of emotions flooded him. Shock, awe, gratitude. "I don't even know what to say," he murmured. "You don't have to say anything," Emily said with a small, wistful smile. "Back then, I was just someone who happened to be there when you needed a voice. But maybe life brought us back together for a reason." The rest of the evening unfolded differently after that. The nervousness faded, replaced by a quiet warmth. They talked about everything, about loss, healing, second chances. Emily told him how losing her brother had pushed her to help others through her work. Daniel shared how that accident had changed him, how it made him appreciate every sunrise, every small kindness, For the first time in years, Daniel found himself truly opening up. Emily listened, not with pity, but with understanding. He realized that this woman sitting across from him had already seen him at his weakest point once in life. And somehow, fate had given him the chance to see her again, this time through clear eyes. As the evening drew to a close, they walked outside together. The air was cool, and the city lights shimmered against the night sky. Emily paused at the curb, turning to face him. "It's strange, isn't it?" she said softly. "We meet so many people in our lives, and most become strangers again. But some connections, they find their way back, no matter how much time passes." Daniel looked at her for a long moment, then smiled, a genuine, heartfelt smile that reached his eyes. "I think I was meant to meet you twice," he said quietly. "The first time, you helped me survive. The second time, maybe you're here to help me live." Emily's eyes glistened with tears, but this time they were tears of something beautiful. Hope. Weeks passed, and that one date turned into many. Slowly, they built something real, built not on coincidence, but on shared pain and mutual healing. Daniel learned to love again, not because he forgot his past, but because Emily taught him that the past could be part of the strength that carried you forward. One evening months later, as they walked through a quiet park, Daniel reached for her hand and said, "You once told me I didn't remember you. I do now, Emily, and I'll never forget you again." She smiled, leaning her head on his shoulder. "Good," she whispered, "because maybe we were never meant to be strangers." And in that moment, surrounded by the gentle hum of life and the glow of second chances, Daniel finally understood. Sometimes the people we're meant to find are the ones who were there for us long before we even realized it. Sparkle's inspiring message. Life has a way of bringing souls back together when the time is right. Sometimes the person you're meant to meet again is the one who once reminded you to keep breathing when life felt impossible. Destiny doesn't always knock loudly. It whispers through moments you almost forgot.